have, opportunity if there's just a comment that you want to make about something that relates to this. It's just that opportunity for us to have a conversation, and that's all it is. But I hate to go to presentations where I listen to presentations and then at the end there's no opportunity to come together. And I understand there's a point when you get so many people on that it's impossible, but right now it's highly possible. And so right now we're definitely going to do it. So Novacast is the name of the company we're talking about. They call it the future of TV. And I'll relate a couple of other industries that have gone through massive transformation as to why I believe this is going to be the future of TV. And then I'll show you two times before where something similar happened that broke every single record we've ever seen in the history of the industries we're talking about. So, with that being said, welcome to the next generation of TV where content is king. I want you to be thinking about content. Right now, a lot of people think in terms, of like a specific provider, but I want you to think more in the term of content, that the industry is moving into a new direction. And bottom line is this, those that have the most content for the best price, they're going to win every single time. And really what it comes down to is value. You and I are just the same. If we're going to get something, based on what we're looking to get, the quality of what we're getting, and the price for what we're getting, that determines the value. And for us, whatever we feel is the best value is where we're going to vote with our buying dollars, right? That's what we do as people. And so, what I want you to imagine when you think of TV, I want you to think about all of this in one place. I want you to first think about if you have cable TV, if you're in the United States, it's probably Cox or it's Comcast or Spectrum, or there's a number of them. So it's probably one of those, more likely one of those. It could be another one, but I want you to think of if you have cable, everything you get on your cable channel right now. If you don't have cable and you have satellite, think about everything you have on satellite. And if you don't have either one of those now, you've had them in the past, think about what you had in the past. But then add on top of that, I want you to add the content that's on Netflix, the content that's
Which
on
is actually a legal service, and
content
I will be
that's on
reporting Scotty B.
YouTube
Greatness
TV.
to the authority.
Oh, we can,
Yes, it is, Scotty.
if we
This is
can unmute that person or take them off, that'd be
that's illegal
fantastic.
TV. It's illegal TV
Just
streams, everybody. You
X
will be reported.
X
Your face
them
has
off
been
for the
reported,
room.
and if you become
Hold on a second, guys. Hank, where did you just delete them off?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
We always get some interesting people out there. But think of all the content on Netflix, Hulu, YouTube TV, Apple TV. Think of all the content on all of these different services. And when I say content, I don't want you to think about like if like Netflix made a specific movie or Apple TV made a specific TV series. So not just thinking about one of those, but think in general. Think in general about all of the content, the 99+% content. Think of every NFL game, NBA game, NHL, MLB, MLS, European soccer game. Think of college sports. Think of cricket, think of golf, think of tennis, think of Formula One, think of NASCAR, think of pretty much everything sports. If it's broadcast on a network TV station in North America, and or if it's on any of the ESPN, the TNT, on the Fox, the CBS Sports, any of those, if it's broadcast, imagine having access to all of that. On top of that, imagine having access to 30 plus thousand movies and TV series. And unlike a lot of places where they'll like say something was on for 8 seasons. Well, you know, they'll start put season 1 and 2 on right now, and then maybe next year they'll put on 3 and 4. I want you to think of an example like one of the ones I saw was MASH, which was on years ago. A number of friends that I have, they love MASH. They love MASH. And the one specific person is one of the main people with this company. That was one of his favorite series. So when he was showing me how this worked, he pulled it up and there's every single series, every single season of MASH with every single episode, all of them right there together in one, all of them right there together in one. So I want you to kind of think about that. I want you to kind of think about that, all that content together. Then on top of that, imagine having numerous channels from over 150 countries worldwide. And in some countries, even having multilingual, and what I mean by that is like in India, which is the largest country by population in the world now. They passed up China a few years ago. And there's numerous dialects in that country. And I don't know how many primary, but imagine, I think we have like 8 or 9 or 10 of different dialects. And inside each of that kind of bucket of content, there'll be numerous channels available and much, much more. And the bottom line of this is all this content in one location, all of it streaming. You don't need a special box. You don't need a special stick. You don't need any equipment at all, none. Accessible up to 5 devices per subscription. And they don't have to be in the same home at the same time. So, like, you could have somebody that's at home and maybe mom and dad are traveling halfway around the world on vacation. You got another kid that's maybe in college somewhere halfway across the country. Another kid's out with some friends, and all 5 of them logging in at the same time, no matter where they are in the world, and all 5 of them literally being able to pull up 4 shows in a 4 screen preview, or ability to watch 4 at once. So, I mean, literally in one subscription, theoretically, you could have 20 shows streaming all at once. So I want you to think about how much you would pay for that, and I'm going to share that with you in just a second. But first, what I want to do is I want to show you a quick little video. And unfortunately, we had that less than nice person that jumped on here earlier. I want you to notice right here this blue circle in the middle with the banner across it, NovaCast TV, 100% licensed, 100% licensed, 100% licensed. Everything is about content and licensing content. And NovaCast has licensed this content direct from the provider. The same people that license content to cable companies, to satellite companies, to streaming services. And in fairness, all sense of transparency, I do not own the company. I am not an employee of the company. I'm not an executive with the company. I'm not a paid consultant. I don't make one single penny any different than people who decide to be involved with this will have the opportunity to earn. In full transparency, the parent company, which deals with Medicaid and Medicare for senior citizens in the medical world, I do have investment in that company, but I have zero financial gain any different than any other person that sees this inside of what's going on with NovaCast TV. So I do like to share that because I believe it's important to be transparent. So now let's take a look at this, guys. Let's take a look at what we're talking about. And I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on one second, guys. I don't know what I did. Let's try it again. Here we go.
Welcome. We're excited you've discovered NovaCast IPTV.
No, it's not staying open for some reason.
Our platform
Here we go. We'll just watch it on the small one. Thanks.
is currently in the
Sorry, guys. First time we've had this issue. Let's just do this. I'm not at home and I got a little different access on my internet, so that could be part of it. Here we go.
Welcome. We're excited you've discovered NovaCast IPTV. Our platform is currently in the final stages of preparation and will be launching very soon. While we finish getting everything ready, please take a moment to watch this short video to learn how NovaCast will bring more content, more choice, and a better TV experience, all in one simple platform.
NovaCast, the future of TV today for a fraction of your current TV cost. And with so much more content than you are currently receiving, including other IPTV services, you will enjoy all the major US and Canadian channels, plus licensed content found on streaming services like Nickelodeon, Bravo, Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Peacock, Showtime, Stars, and many, many more. How about NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and the golf and tennis channels, plus US and European soccer, and international sports channels in their native languages? You will have access to almost every US local station and 60 Spanish language channels, plus channels from more than 150 countries, also in their native languages. Create your own library of your favorite movies with our easy-to-use search tool, and record your favorite TV shows to play back at any time. There are no startup fees, no equipment to buy, and you can cancel at any time. And if assistance is ever needed, our customer support experience is second to none. So if your household is like many Americans, spending an average of $153 or more each month for your TV and streaming services, imagine cutting your bill by more than $100. One platform instead of many, one bill instead of several, and dramatically lower monthly costs. Because with NovaCast, everything you're seeing here comes together for just $49.95 a month. That's it, for up to 5 devices. NovaCast saves families money. And in fact, part of our program will save you even more. Included with your subscription at no additional cost, NovaCast subscribers receive another amazing benefit: college tuition rewards. You'll get up to 25% off tuition at more than 450 colleges and universities across the country. These tuition rewards can be gifted to your children, grandchildren, or anyone else in your family. Or even use it for yourself. As the only IPTV service that provides college tuition rewards, NovaCast gives subscribers a powerful way to turn their entertainment service into real help with the cost of college, helping families leave a legacy of higher education while protecting their hard-earned nest egg. The future is here today, and the NovaCast TV network is why. So sign up now, start saving lots of money with access to more content than ever.
So what you're seeing, guys, is you're seeing an opportunity to have a brand new service. What you're going to learn in just a few minutes is that this service has actually been around, offered in under a different company name. It's been offered for about 10 years. It's actually been up and running just a little bit over 10 years. There's currently 2 million subscribers that literally will pay for that service this month. They've had a 99.5%+ uptime since they started, and their annual retention for renewal is 94%. So virtually unheard of in the world of business. If you're in the 90% of renewal, what that tells you is that the customer loves what you have to offer. They don't just like it, they love it. That's the rarefied air of a Costco membership, of an Amazon Prime membership, of a Spotify membership. I mean, there's not many things that people renew in the 90 percentile, and this one does. So you saw it on the video. NovaCast, $49.95 per month, no contract. Who would not at least try this for a month? I think most people would, because for most people, it's going to save money. It's going to give them more access than what they have. I think that's a better service all the way around. And the price of evaluation for $49.95 is really next to nothing. Now, this is set to roll out. Just so you know, you can't sign up for it today. We're just starting to let people know ahead of time. It's going to come out somewhere between the middle of April and like the 1st of May. They haven't given an exact date, and I applaud them for that because they don't know an exact date right now. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you miss it by a day, everybody says, well, you missed your date. So they're smart. The people that own this company have a lot of years of big business experience, so they understand. So that's basically the service itself. Anybody will have the ability to be a customer anywhere in the world. If you can access the internet and if you can make a payment that goes to a USA-based company, which most countries allow you to do that, then you can have access to the service. Now, I know in my family, when we have Sunday dinners, and by the way, if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky on a Sunday, you're always welcome to come over for dinner. My mom and dad's, we've had it our entire life. I've had a lot of friends that have been in town or just traveling through town that stop in and have dinner with us. And the conversation's always the same with everybody. What's going on? How's your week been going? What's happening? Anything new? You know, somebody went to a new restaurant. They say, hey, we tried this new restaurant. You know, we liked it. We didn't like it, you know, whatever. Or there's this new store that opened up and I really like it, you know, or I didn't really find anything I liked. That's just what you do. You have conversation. And so you're referring all the time. Many times the referrals are for something somebody should try, and sometimes it's a referral to not try that. So human nature is a referral based nature. That's just normally what most people are used to doing. So how do you get NovaCast for free? Well, every person you refer every month when they pay for their service, $49.95, you're going to earn $10. So obviously, if you refer 5 people that are active for the month, you've made $50. So you actually netted 5 cents. You're in the profit. At least you didn't pay anything, right? That's a cool thing. So who can refer it to 5? I think anybody can. Then obviously the next question is, well, what if I refer it to more than 5? Does it stop at 50? No. If you refer 6, you make 60. If you refer 100, you make 1,000. If you refer more, $10 per. There's no limit in that. by any means. So you could do whatever you want. So those are our first two parts. The first one is just the service itself for anybody who wants to be a customer. The second part is if you want to refer it, like with a focus on referring it, you can. I can tell you this, if you ever have people over to watch TV, when they see the interface and they see what you're using, what you have access to, most of them are going to want to know, and you'll probably just through conversation say, yeah, this is my new TV service. They're probably going to want to know how they can get it as well. And so the only thing that designates a pure customer and somebody who can refer is you'll be able to check a box. I haven't seen the interface yet, but you'll probably check a box saying, hey, I want the option of referring should I decide to, so I can earn the $10 off of each referral. So again, I mean, unless you refer a lot of people, not a major money maker, but for people that have contacts or people that want to do this, I mean, you can go make a few hundred or a couple $1,000s a month. It is feasible. It's possible. But you never have to refer if you don't want to. That's not mandatory. It's nothing that's required by any means. It's just I know how people are. If I know something good and you're a close family or friend, I'm going to share with you just as I would ask you to do the same with me. Now, we're going to move into the third part because anytime you're transforming an industry, which is what we are doing here, just as the taxi industry was transformed by Uber, and just as you saw the hotel industry transformed by Airbnb, I believe that NovaCast is going to transform the cable and streaming industry. And the question I have for you is, did you capitalize on Uber Airbnb? If you did, congratulations. I did not. I did not, but I hope you did. I hope you did. So, anyways, I am planning on capitalizing on this, and I want to share with you how you can as well. The company's not looking for investors, so they're not looking for you to invest money in it, but there is a way by referring it and focusing on a team of people to refer, you can actually have the ability to earn what could potentially be significant income. Now, I would ask you to listen real carefully here because what you're going to hear is about something that's only happened twice before in one realm. And in another realm, it's the first time I've ever seen this to happen the way that it's happening here. So we've got a couple unique situations that all the stars aligning, everything going well, which we know in the world of business, there's always some chances of things happening. But all things going well, this literally could be a massive game changer for anyone. And more importantly, what I'm hoping is through this information, it's going to give you enough information to say, okay, I like what I hear, want to wait for some more information. I like what I hear. I definitely want to get more information, but I'm willing to start sharing with people right now. Or you know what? It's not for me. And that's okay. Whatever you are in those three categories, just let the person that invited you know. But I want you to think, just like put a business cap on and think, okay, if I had any product or any service that I'm going to bring to market, if I could already have a market of 1.8 billion people that are using what I'm bringing to market, but what I have to offer is actually better than what they're currently getting. It's more of what they're currently getting and can get it for less. What if that were the possibility inside of the business? So pretty powerful thing, right? Second thing is, what if what I'm bringing has already been around for 10 years, has 2 million people in different places around the world that are paying for it right now? And what if it had had a 99 plus 5% success rate? That means it's been up. There's hardly ever been any times where the service was down. I mean, heck, sometimes you see Twitter or Facebook or things. Sometimes they even go down, and they're massive, you know. So that's incredibly high success rate of uptime. And the biggest thing that I go back to, anytime you get over 90%, heck, anytime you get over 60 or 70% of the people continuing to buy or renew with their purchases, that means you're doing something really good because there's a lot that don't get there. In the world of direct sales, hardly anybody has ever been even remotely close to that. So understand what we're taking a look at. And then finally, what if this model is a next generation? And what I mean by that, what if it was built so that it could work so that a church could offer it to a congregation to help all their members of the church to save some money? Or somebody into affiliate marketing could build in a traditional two-level referral compensation marketing plan. What if it's a great non-medical employee benefit? I've talked to quite a few people that have companies. They say, man, I'd love to make every one of my employees aware of this. If they can save $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. That's like getting a nice raise, right? And what if it was great for direct sales? What if it's great for influencers that do social media influencing? That industry is kind of going in a different direction with all the new AI that's coming out, making it harder and harder for those people in the influencer world. What about if it's great for any charity? I mean, think of an athletic association, think of an alumni club, think of a homeless shelter, think of a humane society, think of every charity out there that's looking to raise money to continue to do the great things that they do, but in an economy where people just don't have the money they used to have to be given out like they used to have. And people are definitely really tired. And I mean, really tired of buying all this stuff that you feel obligated to buy that is overpriced and you probably wouldn't buy it anyways. I'm talking about wrapping paper. I'm talking about candles. I'm talking about cookies. I'm talking about candy. I'm talking about subscriptions to magazines. I'm talking about little coupon type books and things. Most people wouldn't go on their own and just buy that stuff, certainly at those prices, but they know if they're buying it for 25 bucks, $12.50 is going back to the organization. But is it something they really want to do? I'm talking about something that most people would want because it's more, it's better for less, and at the same time, helping the organization that they belong to or they support. So think of associations, think of anybody and everybody that you can think of, because this is a great avenue for that. And I'm going to share with you in a few minutes some of what's already going on behind the scenes. So, well, guess what? Now you can do something like this because this is exactly what exists with NovaCast TV. And I call it the future being here today, and it's here right now. I think it's the perfect option to fit into your portfolio if you believe in intelligent diversification and multiple streams of income, which anybody who's had financial success at a fairly significant level, they will all tell you it's something that they employ in building out what they currently have. To me, I think this is the easiest one to add in, and the reason is this: virtually everybody you talk to is going to have cable, satellite, streaming, or a combination thereof. So most people are a legitimate candidate. What we have to offer is going to beat anything anybody has on dollar for dollar. So we know we can do better for everyone you talk to. That's a rare thing in the business world. And so if you're looking to add something else in, I can't think of anything easier to add in. But there's even more than that because there's evidence of what's happened in the past that we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, this has not turned on yet. The company is not actually doing a pre-launch. We're just reaching out and talking to people on our own to let people know so they could be prepared for the day that it turns on. Some people really love to be involved early and pre-build. For some people, it's not their thing, and that's okay because this is for those that see it. This is for those that want to. Nobody has to be involved, and I feel sorry for people sitting around that have nothing better to do than Zoom bomb like the one person did. I feel sorry for them. I just pray that hopefully, whatever's going on in their life, that they really start looking at things in a more positive way and just quit being focused on the negative. It's unfortunate. So the question you have to ask for yourself is now the right time for you? Well, I want to talk to you about a concept called free is easy. See, I don't think many people will say no to this because number one, when you share it with them, it's more than what they're getting. It's better than what they're getting at a lower cost for most of them. But the second thing is by just literally sharing something that anytime somebody gets something new like this anyway, the natural inclination is you share it with your close circle. And in this case, most of them, it will be the same for them as well. It's going to be better than what they currently have, more than what they currently have at a lower price. So I just think that 9 out of 10 people will at least say yes to at least taking a look at this and potentially engaging for a month. For the people that have any kind of skepticism, I say don't cancel your Netflix, don't cancel your cable, your satellite yet. Sign up for this, use it for a day or two or three or a week or two. I mean, you got it for a month, use it as long as you want, and then cancel the other ones if you want. I know some people have told me, hey, I love Netflix and there's some things on there that I know won't be on here, so I'm going to keep that. If you're one of the people that has to see a certain show that's only on there because it's made by them, then keep it until you're done watching it. There's nothing that says you have to cancel the other things. But what this is about is bringing the majority of the world more, better for less. And that's what we're talking about. So this is a global game changer, guys. And what I mean by that is we're opening up the entire world, and you're going to see the difference that makes when you can do it. So, where are my true entrepreneurs? The people who have vision, because that's what you need to have before something comes to market. Although, with this, you don't need a lot of vision because, heck, there's more and more streaming services popping up all the time, right? But I'm going to tell you that whatever you have either aspired to have from an income standpoint, or maybe you've been there and you're not there now and you want to get back there, whatever your individual case is, I will share with you how I believe more people can get to a higher level of income with this model than anything that most of us have ever had an opportunity to participate in. And so have you ever heard, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard the statement that the future is a great predictor, that the past is a great predictor of the future? Well, I know that be true because part of my area of expertise, like we all have things we're great at, we all have things we can improve in. I got plenty of those. Um, but some of my key core areas of expertise are economics, specifically timing and trends, and being able to see things historically and be able to draw correlations to the possibility of what can happen in the future. And then marketing and psychology are the other two areas. So putting those together, it gives you the ability to identify. Now, going forward, things still have to be executed on. Going forward, you got to watch out for those left hooks that sometimes happen in the world of business. There's a reason why 90+% of all businesses fail, right? It's not easy to grow and build a business. I've done it a number of times. You probably have as well. Not many of them make it. So you got to have all the right things in place. But that's where history gives you a great foundation to at least evaluate as to what you believe has a true potential to grow. And they say great comes in threes. Is NovaCast the third? Well, you get to decide. I know what I believe. So here's the first two that have been in this segment, so to speak, of business. The first was Excel Telecommunications in the phone industry. Everybody has a phone in their home. So phone business is a good business. It's one of the first 5 checks that everybody would write every month. So Excel started in 88, 2 years after AT&T was broken up as a monopoly. And that's when they got started. Ambit Energy started in 2006 with gas and electric. Again, something everybody had in their house. So you notice a difference. This isn't something that only 20% of the population uses. Like, give you an example, everybody should probably take some level or a certain grouping of certain wellness products because of the environmental toxins and things we're exposed to on a regular basis. Everybody probably should take things. Very few people truly eat as clean as they really should, so most people should take it, but only a small percent of the total population will. So notice the difference in the percent of population that not only should do something, but the difference in whether they already are doing something. Big difference in a business perspective from a psychology standpoint. So here's what happened the first 2 times. Excel started in 88. In the eighth year, only in the United States at that time, they topped $1 billion, did 1.4 billion. That had never been done in the history of business, not just telecom, not just direct sales, not just the United States. I'm talking the entire world. The fastest before that was Microsoft. Did it in 15 years to $1 billion. As you can see, they created more people at all levels of income faster than anywhere. And why did that happen? Pretty simple, because it was a product every household was already paying the bill at the end of the month. And what they offered was an equal quality product with a very small savings. It wasn't significant. On the average monthly phone bill, you did not even save enough money to buy a 2 liter of Coke. Not that I'm advocating drink Coca-Cola, just an example. So why did it grow so fast? Number one, because it was a replacement product that everybody, unless you live so far out in the wilderness that you didn't have a phone line to your place, and because that was before cell phones were really prevalent, or you didn't pay your phone bill, then your phone service may be turned off. But other than those 2 things, pretty much every home had a phone. And so then Ambit comes along in 2008 and they opened up only in the United States, gas and electricity. They topped $1 billion in 7 years. Their best year ever was 1.3 billion in 2018. And again, they broke all the records. Once again, product that every household used, equal quality product, very small savings. So why did people sign up in these? Because you know why? Because most people, if they can get a product or service from somebody they know, somebody they trust, somebody they like, versus some big company that they have no connection to, most people prefer to do business with somebody that they know, somebody that maybe is even referred to them, but there's a common denominator of somebody they know in between. And that's just human nature. Most people, not all, but most people like to do business with people they got a relationship with. So that's why these two grew at the rate they did. Unbelievable. Had never seen anything in the home-based business industry that had ever grown that fast. And comparing apples to apples, so I know since then there's some companies that have done more revenue faster, but they opened in like 100 and something countries day one. You can't compare that and have an equal comparison. So if you take all the nonsense out and compare apples to apples, these two have beaten everything that's ever happened. So my question is, what if you had something that fit the mold of these two, but instead of just basically having about equal quality and equal value, what if you had something that had significantly greater value? $103 savings, that is a lot greater value. More content, greater content, a lot greater value. So do great things really come in threes? Guess what? I believe they do, but we're not going to know till we get a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. But I believe we're sitting right now on top of what could become the third. So Why do I say much bigger, much faster? Here's why. Excel in 88. I don't know how many people were in the United States back then, but I imagine it's less than 300 million. Ambit in 2006, probably a little over 300 million. I haven't Googled it to see, so I'm not really sure, but I know there was not 342 million people back at that time. So even if all we did was open today in the United States, and especially with the historical track record of Excel and Ambit, I believe we could outdo them by far. But the fact of the matter is, we are opening the entire world. So the day we open, this is open to pretty much everybody in the world. And so we're opening with roughly 8.3 billion people. So it's easy to say why the belief is that we can grow much faster, become much bigger than either one of those two, which then can translate into income that can be much bigger, much faster than what most people have ever seen. And with content being the future, we are the king. Also, with the ability for people to refer five and theirs is free, that's something you don't normally see. I've never seen it. Excel did not have that. Ambit not have that that I'm aware of. I didn't build Ambit for transparency. I built Excel, very big team in Excel. Um, but I don't believe they had that type of thing. With this dynamic, I believe what we're going to see is people sharing with people, sharing with people. And so the average number of customers per each person that's legitimately in the business to build it as a business, I think is going to be on the very high side for what we've seen in the industry. But here's where the rubber meets the road. We tie the numbers in to what it can mean for you. So you decide to do this as a business, and anybody you get as a customer, they're on your first level. And that could be you as an individual. It could be your church. It could be the high school athletic department. It could be the local humane society. It could be anyone. Anyone that pays the $49.95 on your first level, you're going to earn $10 on. So whether you get one and you make $10, or you get 10 and make $100, or you get 100 and make $1,000, that's up to you. Level two, you're going to earn 10%, which is $5. Notice the 20% and the 10% on the two levels. That's really important for people who know affiliate marketing, because 30% is kind of the sweet spot in the affiliate marketing model. So $5 there. So if you happen to sign up, say, an organization on the first level, and let's just say that they put 1,000 people in. Let's say you got a church, a moderate sized church, and let's say 1,000 people in the church signed up for this to save $103 a month and help support the church. And so the church is going to make 10,000 a month. That's an extra 120,000 a year. Congratulations, you helped them with some extra revenue, all by helping their congregation to save money. But your reward also is going to be $5. So if they're making 10,000 a month, you're making 5,000 a month. There's an extra 60,000 a year. So very powerful. Levels 3 through 6 are 250. Level 7 is $1. Level 8, 9, and 10 is 50 cents. What I'm doing, guys, if and when people get on my seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th level, if and when that happens, which I know it will, but that's just going to be what it is. But the majority of a person's organization, especially in your first year or two, majority of people's organization is within their first three, four, five, six levels. So what I'm doing for all my personal projections is I'm just saying $2.50 per subscriber. $2.50 per subscriber. That's all I'm doing. And so when I'm putting my numbers together saying, I would like to be at this level, how many do I need to be there? When I want to be at this level next, how many do I need? And that's kind of the way that I'm taking a look at that. And so that's working for me. There will be some minimum requirements to qualify for all 10 levels. I don't know what those are yet, but I believe they're just going to be customer centric. So you'll need to have a few customers. I don't believe there's going to be anything where you have to have like leaders at a title or some of that kind of stuff. I just don't think that's going to exist. I don't know, but I don't think it is. And I believe that one customer, 49.95 PV, which I don't know if that's an official term for the company or not, but basically one customer will make you active. So you could start thinking about people directly, people that are connected to organizations as a decision maker, or perhaps one of their close family or friends as a decision maker, because this is the perfect model of one to many. The perfect model of one to many. What do I mean about one to many? Well, one person who's in charge of the alumni association, or one of the key people in charge of an alumni association for a college, a university. What if they have 120,000 alumni, right? What if they see this and say, wow, we're not asking them to buy stuff they don't want to buy. We're not asking them to donate more money. We're not asking them to spend a lot of money and attend this gala event, which are all nice and fun. We're just asking them to let us give something to them that can save them money, at the same time benefit the alumni association as well. So what if they went out there and they put in 50,000 members? Well, they're going to make $500,000 a month. What are you going to make it? $5 each? Well, you're going to make $250,000 a month. Again, I'm not going to say this is going to happen for anyone or everyone, but it's a distinct possibility. What if somebody on your fourth level brought in an alumni club and they brought on 50,000 members? Well, at 250 each, what's that to you? It's $125,000 a month. So these type of things can happen. Are they guaranteed to happen? Absolutely not. Uh, is there a high probability they'll happen? The more people you share with, the more people you have inside your levels, the higher the probability of you having a big account like that. Or even better, what I like to say, the higher probability of you having a lot of people that are tied to a smaller account that may get a few hundred here, a few hundred there, a few hundred there. But if you need to get 1,000 customers, is it easier to get 1,000 on your own, or is it easier to get 100 people to get 10, or is it easier to get two organizations that each get 500? Which one's easier? You kind of get where I'm going with that. So how do you create your best luck, your best potential success? The biggest organization you can, and teaching and helping everybody to understand who do they know that's tied to an organization. So I know you're hearing me hit a lot on that, but one to many has never really worked well inside this industry, which is why I call this wave three. It's even better than you can imagine, because for the very first time of anything I've ever seen, as the absolute best hand to glove fit that I've ever seen, heard of, or know of in a business that we can be involved with, this literally has more cross vertical market capability than anything that I've ever seen. Period, bar none, end of story. And you can see a number of examples here. People may say, well, retail establishment, how does that work? Oh, thanks for making a purchase today. Thanks for coming into our store today. I don't think you saw anything you're looking for today, but hopefully you come back in the future. But just for walking in today, want to offer this to you. It potentially can save you and your family $103 a month on average. Take a look at it. If it works for you, just consider it a gift from us to you. Thanks for eating our restaurant tonight. We appreciate you being a great customer here. We've got something that we want to offer to you that could save you and your family potentially on average $103 per month. Feel free to go to this URL, check it out. If it works, that's great. We just appreciate you being a customer. Somebody that owns a couple small hotels. Hey, thanks for checking in with us here today. For anybody who's doing business with us, we're doing something to give back to you. It may work, it may not, but it's got the potential on average to save you $103 per month. Consider it a gift from us to you. Imagine a real estate agent. Hey, thanks for calling me. Thanks for reaching out to me. I'd love to get a chance to meet and see if I can earn your business to help you buy a new home, to help you sell a home. But you know what? Just for reaching out to me, just for considering me, I want to offer a gift to you. I mean, you see where I'm going with this, guys? Any business, imagine when somebody walks in the door, say, hey, listen, I'm here to help you. If there's anything you're looking for, I can help you with. I just want to do whatever I can to be of service. Hopefully, you find what you're looking for. But before you start to shop, I just want to do something for everybody who's coming in our store today. We're giving them a free gift. Here's a free gift that can potentially save you on average $103 a month. Take a look at it a little bit later and just do your shopping here. If I can help answer any questions about anything you're looking for, please let me know. I mean, every one of these, they're all businesses. They all need and or want or desire more money. Now you have the ability to do it. So when you start thinking about building a team, when I've talked to people, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, Scott, do you really think that two out of 10 people can get some kind of organization, whether it's a small restaurant or whether it's a church or whether it's a charity or, knowing an affiliate market or influencer? I said, I think more than that, but I'm using that to be extra conservative. I said, I actually believe it'll be a lot higher when you have the right model with the right product. And we have that right here. So I don't want you to, like go out and put numbers together that are too crazy. But one of the things I like to do is I like to play a couple scenarios. What if in the next 12 to 24 months, I found three really good people that got three, and you take that down through 10 levels. And at first, what I do is I just have them getting one customer. And then what I do is I have them with their customers referring, getting maybe three customers. And then I'll go, what if I got five to get three? What if I got five that got five? What if I got 10 that got three, 10 that got five? I never look at 10 that got 10 because the numbers are so ridiculous. It's crazy. But just look at, hey, if I go out there and get 10 or 20 people that each get a couple, they get a couple, they get a couple, in the next year or two, how many can I have inside my 10 levels? And if 20% of them get an organization that bring 100 customers only, which is not big, well, what can that mean to me at 250 on average each? And before I go on, I'm going to share this. So one of the things you're going to hear about when this opens up, you're going to hear about a couple of very well-known, I mean, nationally known organizations with a lot of people. One of them is one of the top senior citizen organization, has over 30 million members. Another one is a top service organization for people all over the United States with tens of millions of members. There's another organization that has over 60 million members, not only in the United States, but in different places. There's a veteran organization that has 4.2 million active veterans involved with them. There's a couple big churches. There's a couple entire denominations that are taking a look at this. So this is going to come out and you're going to be hearing about it, and the people you know are going to be hearing about it, which is great because unlike that person that got in here and so rudely interrupted us, what you're going to see is through these organizations, you'll start to hear the name NovaCast and you will start to see more and more and more credibility. And as that comes out, those that have the biggest teams in place, when it starts to become a name that is talked about, that's when that explosive growth happens. And the teams that have the biggest teams in place are the ones that capture that explosive growth when you start to get market recognition, market name recognition. And so these companies have, guess what? These organizations, which by the way have executive, C-suite executive management teams, they have internal legal staff, in some cases, external legal staff. They have a board of directors they report to. They don't just throw a new offering into their offering to their association or to their membership, the people that pay to be members or belong to their group. They don't just throw something out there willy-nilly. They do their research. They check things out. They talk with the company. Their attorneys evaluate contracts. They do their due diligence. And so for me, when I see, and now I do have the benefit of knowing who they are, I'm on NDA, but I do have the benefit of knowing, and I promise you, you will know most of the names right off, and so will everybody you know. And when they've already done their due diligence with their in-house legal and their external legal, when they've already evaluated contracts and they say, we're good, we're on board, as soon as it turns on, we're bringing this out, that's more due diligence than I could ever do on my own. So why do I have the confidence? Because they've done the legal due diligence that I could probably not afford to do on my own. So will there be support? Yeah, you're going to have access to top 1% leaders, success systems, personal connection. We use a Telegram. If you're on Telegram, if you're not, you want to get on it. We got a Telegram group where you can have access to what we're all doing inside of there. That's how we all stay active and connected. This is the game plan. And by the way, you don't have to use this. You can use any game plan you want. But every company we've used this in going back to 1993, again, apples to apples comparison, we have outgrown any other team inside the company, whether they've been in before us or came in after us. Number to number, we have outgrown every single one of them. Why? Well, because this is it. You could train anyone and everyone on exactly what to do, and anybody's doing anything outside of this, they're asking for their business to go slower. They're asking to make less money versus more money. And so the people that stick to this have the best chance of seeing the fastest growth. And this is it. Use NovaCast. Number one, use it. So when you're talking to people, you can show them on your phone, or if they have a question, there's a better chance you can answer the question right there. Share NovaCast with anybody and everybody and or organizations that you desire you want to. You don't have to share with anybody you don't want to, but you can share it with anyone that you do want to. And then teach and help. Notice I say both. Excuse me, teach and help your NovaCast subscribers to do what? To use NovaCast so they know how to use it, walk them through and show them. And once you learn it, it's pretty quick. It's no different than shifting from, say, direct TV to YouTube TV. Different interface. You got to learn some maneuvering and controlling, but once you got it down, boom, you're off on the new one. And then the second half is help. Help them understand if they want, not that they have to, but just ask them simply, hey, now that you see the value in this, do you think any of your family or friends would like to save $103 a month on average? Because if you refer five, your $49.95 is covered. You actually make a nickel. Would you like to refer it? If so, you could show them how to get signed so they can do referrals. So that's it. We call it simple, easy, fast, profitable, and fun. Why? Any system with only 3 steps is very simple. I know some that got 10 and 20 steps. I mean, it's like, wow, I'm trying to do a part-time business, outside of all my life and everything else I'm doing. And I got to do all these things to be successful and teach other people to do all these things to be successful. Wow, that's not going to be very easy. And the reason we say easy is because any one of these 3 steps, you could teach a 6-year-old kid how to do it. You could teach a 6-year-old kid how to do any of these 3 steps. And then obviously fast. When you have something that most people already have and you could give them something that offers them something better than what they're using, more of what it is that they're using at a lower price for most of them, wow. And all you got to do is use it and share it. I mean, that's a fast business. If you look at how Excel and Ambit grew, it's not me saying it's fast. The proof is in the pudding. They grew faster than any other company, and they had the closest to this. The one that was the most similar and the closest to this is what they had. And then, of course, again, profitable. When you have a product or service that the masses use And it's very simple to use a system that gives you the ability to share it. And the steps that you have to take are easy, that no matter what your educational background, no matter what your socioeconomic background, no matter what your culture, what your religion, your politics, none of that, literally none of that matters. But it literally is easy enough that anyone can do it. So you can share with people who are different than you, even in different parts of the world, and cohesively build something. Well, then what happens is the profits start to grow a lot faster. And when it comes to fun, here's the thing. I say it all the time. Ask anybody in the business world if you had two choices. One, you could start a business that you had to do a whole lot of different things, and they weren't the easiest to do. I mean, you really had to study to learn that, and it's going to go slow and it's going to take a while before you make money. Or you could start something that there's just a few things you have to do, simple enough you could see them once and know exactly what to do, and it's going to move fast and you're going to start making a lot of money and profit fast. Which one of the two would you say sounds like a more fun proposition? And I know that's a rhetorical question, but it shouldn't be lost on some of us that have maybe not had the most fun in some of the businesses we built before, because it wasn't a simple system. The steps weren't that easy to learn. It did not go fast. It did not generate profits, maybe none at all, or if it was, very little, very slowly. So just know, if you didn't build Excel, didn't build Ambit, you may not have an understanding of the difference in this compared to everything else that people have seen. So people say, Scotty, what do I share? Well, this video is posted inside of our Telegram group, and I think it's pinned. If not, I'll pin it, but I think it is. And so just share that video. We'll update it as soon as we get more information. But for right now, that's all you got to share. And I'm just asking people to let me know. The people I've shared with, I got an entire list. It's almost at 50 now that have said yes. I just said, let me know, number one, if you're interested or not. If you're not, I'm not going to bother you. I'm not one that keeps pushing things on people by any means. I'll always share until somebody says don't share. And then if they're in like a group or something I say just leave the group. You don't have to be in there. The second thing is, if you are interested, let me know where your interest is. Are you interested, but you just want some more information as we move along? Are you interested and say, hey, I do want more information, but I also want to start sharing? Just let me know where you are so I can be with you and work along with you. I don't want to try to move faster or in a way that you're not ready to move. That way I know where you are. Let me meet you where you are so I can best serve you. And so that's what I just recommend. In life, as we start to wrap up, timing is everything. Good things, great things do come in threes. Is this the third? Well, I'm not taking a chance on missing. Worst thing that could happen is they turn on and for some reason it doesn't work. That's the worst thing that could happen. And you know what? I put some time and effort into it, and no harm, no foul. It didn't work. Best thing that can happen is all these attorneys that have evaluated everything, these large organizations, all the contracts the company has, everything that's involved, the service is what it has, the 10 years of history is what it is, and this works and it goes. And we've got a year, we've got 2 years, 3, 4, 5, or more. And with the ability to grow, like I mentioned in here, well, bottom line is you may not need that long for something to be successful, to have enough success to put enough away that no matter what happens in life, not just talking about this, but no matter what happens in life, you are set. And I want to talk about that for just a second, and then we'll move to close. So what do I mean by that? Well, remember that veteran organization I mentioned to you? So the person, there's only a handful of us, and none are compensated people to the company to do this. Not like paid or consultant compensation or employee compensation or 1099. No additional money at all. So one of the other people is the one that brought that veteran organization. And the veteran, the head, their head of that organization, the group of them that run that, they told my friend, they told him that we think that we will have 3 million people signed on in the first 90 days. That's what they said. And so I told him, I said, I hope they do. I hope they have more than that. I said, but let's just be conservative. What if they only had 1/3 of that and they had a million, just for round numbers? I said, at $10 each, they'll be making $10 million a month. That's $120 million in extra revenue without selling anything, without hosting any type of gala event. This is just giving people something that can save them money. And imagine all the good they can do for those veterans, which I'm a huge, massive proponent on. I'm not a veteran, but my dad, grandparents, uncles, I've got so many veterans in my family and such a deep appreciation for them. And I hate the way they've been treated. This might be something to turn things around for them. So for me, I'm all for that. But whatever they do, That's what they're going to have. And I told him, I said, I know you run the numbers, but do you know what that means for you if they just do 1 million? He goes, yeah, at $5 each, it'll be 5 million a month or 60 million a year. I said, if they did 1/10 that, only did 100,000, you're still making 500,000 a month or 6 million a year. But this is why you may hear me refer to the fact that I believe at the end of our first year, we will have more people making six figures on an annualized basis, seven figures on an annualized basis, but also, and I've never said this in my 35-year history in this industry, I believe we've got the strongest potential to not have one, but have multiple people making seven figures monthly because of an organization like this that they get, or because somebody within the first 5 or 6 levels gets an organization like that and they get the rewards of that. So, again, how do you create the best luck for yourself? By getting as many people as you personally can inside of your pay structure that all have the potential, that all have the possibility of knowing somebody who's a decision maker that can say yes to rolling this out to their organization. Remember, one to many beats one to one every single day. And the way you get the most one to many is get the most one to ones. So, best deal out there. As of right now, haven't heard anything different. Looks like there's going to be zero cost to engage if you want to be a referrer, where you can earn the $10 and or through the 10 levels as well. It looks like there'll be zero cost to do that. You'll probably just check a little box saying, I would like to refer and be eligible to earn compensation. No monthly cost for like back offices or marketing packages or things like that. Just being active and or maybe even just having one customer. Again, don't know the details, but really the cleanest, easiest, least costly way to engage in a business with so much possibility and potential. And this is the wrap up, guys. In 1848, somebody found gold on their property in California. They told some of their friends who also found the gold. And all of a sudden, something happened, and they called it the gold rush of 1849. Matter of fact, the San Francisco 49 finer are called that because they called them the Miner 49ers. Even though it started in 48, 49 was the explosion. People got something called gold fever. And literally, they talk about people going mad, unfortunately. People that sold their homes, people that sold every possession they had, and they loaded up what they needed in covered wagons and went across country. People came from Europe, from Canada, from Central, South America, from Asia, from all over the world to strike it rich. And you know what you did when you got out there? You went out and you looked for land that wasn't registered, and there was a lot of it. And what everybody tried to do was to get as close, everybody tried to get as close to the land where people first found the gold. And so you get out there, and if there was land that nobody owned, you would go out and you literally drive stakes in the ground, rope it off, and you staked your claim. You staked your claim. And then you went and registered, and then that was your land. And if you found gold in that land, that was your gold. So, what should you do right now? Whatever the heck you want to do. I can't tell you what to do. I can only share information that's going based on the best information I have access to up to this minute. But here's what I'm doing. I'm doing what the people did in 1849. I'm staking my claim. And what is my claim? My claim is the list of people I know and me having the possibility of being the first to share it with them. I may not be the first. I already have one person that I shared this with who called a person who is connected to a veterans organization. And so my friend called his friend called the person at the veteran organization, and they said, oh, we've already signed up with them. It was the one that my other buddy had. And at that time, less than probably 30 or 40 people even knew about this. So, you know somebody that's a decision maker, you could stake your claim by calling them first, or you could take a chance that somebody else calls them before you. Yes, it does happen. So, has your vision expanded any? I mean, I hope it has. I hope, if anything, it just gives you a little more clarity. Wherever you fit in is where you do. If pre-building's for you, that's great. If it's not, just wait. We're only talking 3 to 6 weeks at the most. But for those that are ready, here's what I recommend. Let the person who shared this with you know. Get time and date stamped that you're coming on board with them. I've got close to 50 people myself, time and date stamped, and I'm doing everything I can in the time I have available between now and the time it opens to share with as many people possible. Why? Because I understand the value of pre-building. Why? Because I want as many people inside those 10 levels that can know one to many. The best way for me to get as many one to manys as I can is to have as many ones as I can who potentially know the one that could bring the one to many. Connect with me on Telegram. We want to get you in our Telegram group so you could be connected. You can stay active, updated, and informed. Check it, I'd say at least twice a day. That's our kind of our command central. Here's some examples of lists that I'm making. You can make your own list. It's your own business. You don't have to follow our system. You can do whatever you want to do. It's your business, should you even decide to do this business. But these are what I believe are the most important ones. And then stay active and connected, participate. repetition is the mother of skill, and the more you hear something, the more you start to get it ingrained, and it gives you the ability to talk at a more knowledgeable and informed level when you're talking to people. And just show up to win and bring a positive and constructive attitude only. Set your daily, weekly contact goals, which is really the only goal you can control. I know somebody said, well, Scott, I want to make this much money. I said, well, at 250 each, how many people would you need to have? They said this. I said, do you know how many people one person will refer? They said, no. I said, do you know how many people will get an organization? Said, no. Do you think anybody will get one? They said, yes. I said, how many customers will they get? They said, well, I don't know. I said, right. I said, but you know one thing that you can control if you want real goals? And they said, what's that? The people you reach out to. It's the only thing you have any kind of control over. So if you like to know you're achieving your goals, then set contact goals because you can adjust them. Like if you say, by the time this opens, assuming it opens, let's say April 15th, I want to have 10 people that have said yes. Well, then figure out how many you need to contact each day to reach people that you can get to evaluate this to get one that says yes. You don't know to start, so set your goal. And if it's happened faster than you think, congratulations. Keep up with the same goal. You may have more than you wanted on 15th. If it's not happening as fast as you would like, then maybe you need to up your goal just a little bit. So again, it really is the only thing you have control over. And so I would just say, get yourself connected. Let's get connected. Make sure we get you in our group. If any of us can do anything to help at any time, let us know. As long as we got the time open and can schedule it. Like I tell people, we're never here to do it for you, but we are here to do it with you as long as it's scheduled. And for those that are ready, hey, welcome to the Creating Greatness Familia. Great to have you here with us. I am going to put us now in our what we call our open forum mode, and our open forum mode is an opportunity for question, answer, comments. But before I do that, I am going to give you guys just a quick announcement. So let me do this first. Alrighty, guys, hang tight. Where did our share go? Why did that disappear? This is doing some funky things. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. So now we're back. So first off, guys, thanks for hanging here with us. I know we're starting to build in numbers. That's exciting. What I'm going to tell you is the main C-suite executive who is the main person in charge of bringing this new venture to market inside of the parent company. He and I are actually doing a Zoom in just a little bit here. And we're going to do a little kind of a fireside chat. And I'm going to be asking him some questions, and he's going to share anything and everything that he can up to this point. He agreed that I could record that and make it available for the people that we're working with. So you're going to get a chance to meet one of them. As soon as we can, we'll have him on a live one as well. They're very conservative in their business approach. They don't run fast just to run fast. They don't try to go slow, but they really do everything they can to cross the T's, dot the I's. And for them, it's more important about bringing a project to market that is legitimate, that is operational, that is working to the best that you possibly can for turning something on as as early as they can, and that's much more important to them versus just bringing something out because us crazy marketers want it yesterday, right? And all of us that are marketers, we know what that is. You know, it's like, when do you want it? Last week. We're having a hard time waiting. So I'll make that available, and we'll probably do a special. I'm hoping to maybe a little bit later this evening do a special preview where I can play that for everybody. The goal, just so you know, the goal is 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the goal. 9 p.m. Eastern. As soon as I get confirmation, I'll put it in the Telegram group. And of course, once we have the live one that everybody gets a chance to see first, because then we can have some great open forum conversation after that. If there's any pieces missing or something you're wondering or want to know about, if I can possibly answer that, I will. If not, obviously I can go back and try to get that answered. And then what I'll do is once that's done, I'll post it in the Telegram group later on as soon as I have the recording that I can post there after we're done with ours. And I'll put that in there so you have the opportunity to review that or share that with anybody. So it's step by step, one at a time. We're moving forward and going in that direction. So let's do some open forum, guys. If you want to raise your hand or question, or Hank, if you maybe want to go through chat, there might have been some questions in
Sure.
there. That'd be
Sure.
great.
Yeah, let's do the questions and then see. We'll address the specific questions here. Some of them are patterned, and
Okay.
then if anyone has any more questions, just raise a hand and let us know. Okay. So the first one here is from Ferris. How will we be paid, and will we be able to pay with credit, with debit and credit cards?
Yeah, great question. I'm not sure. I mean, I know we're going to be paid. I don't know how that's going to happen as far as let's look at two things. Number one, frequency. I don't know the frequency yet, if it's going to be weekly, if it's going to be bi-weekly, if it's going to be twice a month, if it's going to be, monthly. I don't know yet. How we'll be paid will probably be in US dollars, I would imagine. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in regular dollars. I don't think there's any payment in crypto as far as money they're going to take for the subscription. Obviously, there, from what I've heard, I believe there'll be credit card, debit card, and possibly the ability to pay in some crypto. Not confirmed yet, but I know they want to have that because there's a lot of places in the world where it's easier for people to pay in crypto than it is in cash. A lot of times people won't have a debit or credit card, but they do have crypto. So they want to accommodate as many people as possible. It may come in a phased approach, but we'll have a lot more access to that information here really soon. So as soon as we know, we'll make sure it's posted and everybody knows. But great question. Thanks for asking.
And Canadian Carol, I'm going to lump a couple of your questions together here, but I will say here there's a comment from David Willis, which is I'm offering this to all of my travel agency clients as something that their travel doesn't affect their TV. It's a very good point. You're going to be able to basically take your TV with you. So anyone traveling will have their TV with you. So I'll get to the next question. I just wanted to comment on that.
Yeah.
Canadian Carol looked up the IP over the internet already available, but not really legal. Is this the same IP over Wi-Fi, but fully licensed? Question. I'm very new to this. Confused. Warnings using IP, it's illegal. I know someone paying $20 live sports. These are all questions that we've asked. Live sports loves it. However, he dare not share it as he could be gone, but individuals are slipping through. But a company will have to have legal contracts. So just
Yeah.
talking about legality, licensing, sports, all of the above.
Yeah, so it all comes back to who has the content and who they license it to. So that's the key. So for example, these and again, I'm not an attorney, number one, nor have I been privy to or reviewed the contracts, but I do know the company, which has a very significant legal presence because of what they do in the medical world, which I know is a different industry, but it's a big business and you have to have pretty sophisticated attorneys in that. So I know they've had their law firm who have attorneys that are great at contract law, review the contracts. On top of that, just for your all's knowledge, I don't know if they will share the name or not. I'm hoping they don't because I know everybody will call this person's office and it'll upset them. But they did go external and hire what is renowned as one of the top content attorneys in the world. Has worked with a lot of big name people. One that virtually everybody in the world will know is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was one of his clients. He used to manage and handle all of Michael Jackson's content, which is one of the larger libraries of content in the world. And so he was retained external to the company and he went through all the content contracts and gave the two thumbs up as well. And it actually issued an opinion letter, which is even a bigger statement because that's them not only saying it to you, but that's them saying, I'll put it in writing with my name and reputation that after evaluating these contracts, everything I see in them looks legal to me. And so those are provided to like large organizations where they have entire board of directors and things like that. So I don't know if that'll be anything we'll have access to, but it will be provided. And so again, the way that I look at that is when some of these organizations come on board and you hear who they are, if knowing that their attorneys have seen all the contracts, seen the opinion letters, done their due diligence, and if they're willing to offer it to millions or tens of millions of their members and potentially ruining their reputation, if that's not good enough for me, then I don't know what would be. You'll have to determine if that's good enough for you. And if it is, you'll continue forward. If not, then you won't. And that's okay because you only need to do something if you feel it's good. But I do know and understand and acknowledge that when you're in pre-building, you're operating with less than all the information, which is why it's for anyone, but it's not for everyone.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see here from Ashton. How would you characterize, who's the owner? How would you characterize the ownership?
Well, there's multiple owners. I actually don't know who all the owners are, but I know the parent company, which will be revealed very soon, is one of the primary owners. I would imagine they're probably the majority owner. I know there's another person that deals with a lot of content and things that was the main person that connected them together that has some kind of equity position. How much, I don't know. And I don't know if there's any other equity investors or not. I'm not sure. But I do know the parent company will be revealed when they're ready to share that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, real quick, I'm sorry,
Melissa.
Hank. Also, what will be revealed, I'm pretty sure, is the name of the company that is supplying the content. And I promise you, 99% of everybody, certainly in the United States, will know who that company is. So most likely you'll know who they are. And it's a name that's been around for 40, 50 plus years, I think. And so it's not a new thing.
And these are all great questions. And
They are.
yeah, they're great questions. And
All the questions I asked.
yeah, yeah. All of us, as the ripple has come down the wave here, or the
Right?
yeah. Melissa Martini, Melissa, hello. If they've been in business for 10 years prior, why are they renaming their company or starting a new company with a new name with the same services as before?
Absolutely great question. I think it's the first time I asked that question, Melissa. Great to see you, by the way. Glad that you're here and on camera. Always love that. So this is an entirely new company, but the service that they're offering has the same package has been offered through another company for 10 years. So this is different people, different company, but the package is the exact same package. So it's a total different company. They're not the same company, but they're using the exact same package that's been delivered. But that package, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know all the details, but I don't think it's something that was openly offered to like the general community. I'm not sure, but I think it was something that it was more through like groups or somehow people tied into it. And I do know, excuse me, that a big chunk of those 2 million people are scattered all over Europe. So again, not sure how they got involved, but I do know that it has been for 10 years. And those other numbers about uptime and renewal rate are accurate numbers.
And the analogy to that is like when a company will launch a product, particularly one that needs to be on shelves. And so they'll put it out on shelves and it'll just sit there, right? And it's a good product, but it's competing against all these other things. And no, it doesn't have a story until the people share the story.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's see here. How is this? This is from Robert. How is this loaded for television? Or explain how it's we're going to be able to access this service, please.
So again, I haven't seen all the technical side of that, but basically what I was told is if you can access Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, any streaming service, you'll be able to access this because it's a streaming service. So I imagine it's some sort of app that you'll download onto your TV, or obviously if you're on your phone or your pad, you pull it up. No different. However you pull up Netflix right now, it'll probably be the same way you pull this up as well. And so that what gives you the ability to have it on 5 separate devices anywhere in the world. As long as you have internet access, you'll have access to this as well. There are certain TVs that are older, and if they're not smart TVs, obviously, if they don't have the proper type of HDMI connection, then you won't be able to get it on that TV. But there are some ways for older TVs if you got the right connection to wire it to it. And then, of course, smart TVs, it's a streaming service, same way you access other streaming services. So we'll get all that information here pretty soon too, a little more detail, but that's our best estimate at this time.
Okay. Ferris with another question here. He says, I know you said there would be a capture page system for this, but what system will be used, like mycapturepage.com or iWebTool, for our capturing our leads?
Yeah, great question. So what I actually said is you will not be charged for any kind of lead capture page or marketing system or anything like that. So there's not going to be one. What you will actually see is this company will probably be a much more low key networking company than you've ever seen because their focus is on the one to many. It really is. But putting it in position where they wanted every type of vertical market to have access is why they created the 10 levels. But you will notice where they really focused heavily on the 20%, which is great for charities, for churches, for not-for-profit organizations, and then 20 and 10%, which is great for affiliate marketers that like 2-level plans, and even for influencers, really great for that type of group. But they did go ahead and create the 10 level, although as you go down, you can notice it's far significantly less per subscriber to the person who's farther up because they did want to allow networkers, because what they realize is the more networkers you get, the more people you have, and the more people you have, the more chance you have to have the one to many. So very, very strategic and smart in doing that. If you want to use your own lead capture type of page or system, you can use anything you want. The only thing you would have to do is use, basically any kind of video that the company puts out their self. And or if you want to create anything yourself, you'd have to submit it to their compliance for approval.
Okay. Let's see. Canadian Carol has another one, but I think you addressed it. If you want Scotty to expand on that, Canadian Carol, please raise your hand here. But I'm gonna move on. And Megan, I think I may have you chime in too. I'm not sure exactly. Let's see. David Willis, is there any way, maybe at the end here, but I'll see what Scotty can do here with this computer. Is there any way we could put that tier pay list slide back up? That tiered pay list slide.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Let's go on to the next question while I go back to that.
Okay. And I will say that that's something that you want to, I mean, it's a financial, it's a document. It's not a financial document. It's a document that projects potentially pay. So you just want to you want to have your proper disclaimers in order to display that in most cases. Melissa Martini, do we wait to approach organizations until we have more corporate information?
So great question. And we'll take this with Melissa, and then we'll go back and get the other question about the structure on the pay. So what I would say about an organization is know your audience. Who are you talking to? What's your relationship with them? If it's a good enough relationship, I do not like to wait. I've got some organizations that I'm approaching myself already because I don't want to take a chance that somebody else gets them. So I would say if you know the person well enough that you can have that kind of conversation, say, hey, listen, this is what's coming. I just want to let you know ahead of time so you can be prepared to see if you guys would have any interest at all. You can go to the NovaCast.tv and you can show them that video and say, we're going to have a lot more information. Here's basically how it's going to work. I do know for every subscriber, every month they pay their subscription, you're going to earn $10. And then they do have the ability to get theirs for free by referring for $5. Anybody they refer, you'll make $5 on. So I would just kind of talk those two levels for right now. Anything past that is just bonus. They make more than you had talked to them about. So it's a beautiful thing. But for me in the organization, I'm just talking about those two levels. If they ask, well, what if those 5 refer? So, well, yeah, 250. So I'll go deeper if they ask, but if they don't ask, I'm focusing on those two. But I would have that conversation so you're the one that's engaged and tell them, hey, within the next basically 2 to 4 weeks on average, we're going to be able to have a lot more detailed conversation, may even be ready to actually engage, get you your link where you can take this to your members, your congregation, your supporters, and engage. And literally within a month, you could be having income coming in every single month as they start to use it and they start to refer it. So that's what I'm doing personally.
Plant that seed. Plant that seed.
All righty, let's go back.
Let's see here. Can we see the letter? Okay, Ashton, can we see the letter? Oh, you're still looking for that tiered
I've
slide.
got the tier. So on the letter, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not, Ashton. It's just going to depend on what the company wants to do. What I'd like to see them do is have it but redact the name of the law firm and the attorney, because we saw this happen before. Some of us know with another company called Transact Card, where they revealed a bank, and they had a bank that was legitimately signed and contracted to work with them. And because so many people started calling them, they said, this is interrupting our regular daily operations. And so we're going to have to make this contract null and void. And they lost that. They lost that. So yeah, I hope they don't share it. That's my advice to them. But whatever they decide to do, it's their company. So let me go to the share real quick and show you guys. Here's the 10 levels. If you want to take a screenshot or, take your phone or whatever else you have, take a picture of that. And again, this is, I'd say 99% there. I haven't seen this as 100% lockdown, but this is the last that they shared with me. And I haven't heard of anything changing. So this is the last thing that I heard that they had. So as of right now, 20%, 10%. There we go. All
Looks
right.
juicy.
Oh, it is. I mean, especially if you incorporate for yourself and with your team the one to many. If you get them plugged into our Telegram group, I promise you, they're going to hear one to many, 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 because every one of us that's in there, we would rather have more than less. And the way you have more than less is by moving groups to action versus moving an individual. It takes the same amount of time to sit down with one person to share NovaCast that can then potentially sign up and be a customer or maybe be a consultant and start to build a business as it does to sit down with the decision maker of an organization that has 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or more members. Your same time, your same effort, different, potentially significantly different outcome for the same time and effort. I don't know about you, but I love maximizing. I love maximizing the return on my time and effort, especially being 63 today versus being a lot younger. It makes a big difference.
Okay, for the people, this is from Okina. for the people that choose not to basically get paid for referrals, if they still refer without upgrading to get paid for it, will the commissions roll up? Follow-up is, or if someone cancels for whatever reason, does the commission roll up?
So great questions, and I've asked those. I don't have answers to them yet, but they said when they have the final plan, they will let us know. So obviously, with the background in networking, I've made that suggestion to them.
Okay.
We all know the power of that, right? Akina, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
power of that. Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
The one nice
Let's
thing I
see.
will say is normally in most companies, if you don't have that, it's a kiss of death with a 94% renewal rate. If for some reason they didn't, it's still not a bad thing, but hopefully they do.
Okay, I think see Megan asked me a question about Transact Card. So that's interesting. I was in Transact Card with Scotty, although I wasn't on his team. It was a great concept, but again, when it comes to pre-launch and delivery, it's a whole nother game.
Hey, Hank, let's freeze on that for 1 second. And guys, first thing I'm gonna share with you, a lot of us, we don't know each other, and hopefully we do get the opportunity to know each other. But what Hank said to me is a great example of what I love about humanity. And what I mean by that is we were in that company, but we were cross-line. And the way that I look at life is if I see something and I believe it has value, I'm going to share it with everybody that I know and or like and or have some kind of connection with. Just as I ask every single person, you included, if you come across something, if you come across something that you see that you believe has value, please share it with me. I'm an adult. I'm a big boy. I can do my own evaluation. I can do my own research. I can decide if it's something I'm interested in. It could look great. It could have more validation than anything I've ever seen. And I may say it's not for me right now. That's my decision. But at least please share it with me and give me that opportunity. In a world where it's not easy for people to get ahead, it's just not. If you were born into it, congratulations. If you built a business that happened to be one of the few that took off and just did massive things, congratulations. That's not most. And so the best way most of us have the best chance is by people sharing. And so anybody who gets upset at somebody by sharing, to me, they need to look in a mirror. There's probably something else, and I feel sorry. I've had things myself too that I don't feel good about that I've had to deal with. But I think people should share. And like Hank said, we weren't in Transact Card together. But you know what? Now we're doing something that we've shared. If Hank comes across something, he knows. I've told him, please share with me. He's told me, he said, Scott, keep me in your top 10 every time. So we don't always work together, but we always share because we're brothers, we're humans, and we know the best chance of hearing about things early, which anybody understands the value of first, is by other people sharing with you. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And the other thing I would share is, people can make assumption and you're entitled to your assumption. But a lot of times people get a feeling about something and they will come and throw their opinion out, but they don't do any due diligence. They haven't done their own research. It's just a feeling they have because maybe they have seen something about it before, you know? So, anyways, I just share that here because, guys, I think everybody should share. And if we do, we all have a better chance of succeeding. Nobody knows what anything's going to do in the future. You can have somebody opens a business today, and 2 months later, they could be in a car wreck and be killed. And maybe there's not somebody in place that can really handle that and run it from there, and the company ends up going out of business. There's so many potential things of what can happen. We can't control it. But what we can do is focus on what we can control. And if we share enough with each other over time, that's why I promote multiple streams of income because if you have seven, if one or two go away, you still got five. You're not losing the house. But if you only have one and it goes away, which is what I always used to do, and I had some big ones that went away. Boom, went away. So, anyways, just, obviously, guys, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, feel they want to feel. But that's one of the things why I say bring a positive attitude, come in here with constructive, information. We're all trying to help each other to have access to something. You decide for yourself if it's for you or not, but please come with good attitudes. And I think most people do, so it's a good thing. Any more questions in there, Hank, or anybody want to raise their hand? Have a question or comment? Mr. Bill, you're on mute, brother. Unmute.
Hey, Scotty, great presentation as always. You do such a good job of this. And again, this is an early, it's an early platform. This, like you say, we're kind of just learning about this. I had some experience with an IPTV program for about 4 years. That's some friends of mine in India hooked me into. You had to buy a Fire Stick, right? That's how you had access to it. So the Fire Stick was about a $40 investment. And I think this was like $12 a month, but for 4 years, it was amazing. I mean, it was stupid. I got all kinds of games, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of networks. You didn't get Netflix and some of the others. You had to pay extra for that. And I think that by doing that, it keeps those Netflix and those people, their big legal forces away from you. But obviously streaming is going to change. There's a lot of things that are changing in the world of business from what it was 5 years ago. I think the beautiful thing about this, I think I was paying like $12 a month. It was really reasonable. And the funny thing was, I was not making any money to share it, but the friends I shared it with, they all jumped in and they loved it, you know? And then all of a sudden it just wasn't working. The password wasn't working. I just think they probably got scared legally, maybe, and got out of it. But with this, like you say, if you've got big organizations behind this with their legal teams and they've looked at it, maybe that's, and think about it. IPTV was almost a secret. You almost had to kind of know somebody who knew somebody, and you kind of kept it a secret. You didn't say anything and just enjoyed it. But with this, if this goes into massive distribution with this kind of money behind it, they can buy the legal, right? Once you get to that big with millions and millions of people, guess what? It's not going to get messed with like you would with others, in my opinion. And the reason why it's $49.95 is because there's probably a comp plan involved with it, right? So where it can pay that out. And because of it's a comp plan, it pays you to share it. That's where I can just get mass adoption. My thing is, like you said, you think they're going to go fairly low key. I think you're absolutely right. 10 levels down. Hey man, there's a lot. If this thing goes really big, it's going to go way below 10 levels. So if you're not paying out anything 10 levels down, that leaves the company a lot of money to be made in the comp plan where it's not having to pay anything after 10 levels, right? So you imagine if this thing's around, it goes internationally, that's going to be a lot of money coming back to the company. You didn't mention anything, it was going to be a binary or anything like that. I mean, if you sign people up, do you have to go through a program and a network where you sign them into your different levels or whatnot? I'd be kind of really interested about that. And I think it'd be a good idea if they didn't do like diamond level, emerald level, all that stuff, because it just makes it look so MLM. And there's a lot of people going, if this is anything to do with an MLM, I'm staying the F away from it. So if this company is smart, I think they'd stay away from all that bullshit level stuff and just keep it as, hey, if you share that, you're going to make this much, right? These are obviously just suggestions. I have no skin in this game at this point. I'm definitely going to get in early adoption of this. I think it could be massive, but I think those are things. If you have any contact with the company, I would not do the different levels of colors or diamonds or minerals to be what you need to be, and don't be giving out free cars and bullshit like that. Just keep this thing really organic, pay it 10 levels down. But what I'd be really interested in is how you would sign people up, and if you've got to put them on a left or a right, or is it just one level? I mean, can you find some of that stuff out for us?
Yeah, so great points, and thanks for sharing your testimony with using an IPTV.
Yeah, man.
So
Loved it.
things real quick, guys. Yeah, for sure, right? And so a couple things, guys. First off, IPTV is nothing new. It's just streaming TV. The reason IP, that's called Internet Protocol. That's what it stands for.
Right.
So television over Internet Protocol. It's just like they used to have IP telephone service. They called it IP telephony, Internet Protocol Telephone Service. So that's all it is. This is IPTV, Internet Protocol. It's streaming. What's it streaming through? The internet. So it's nothing new. It's been out there. What happens, though, is the majority of what has been offered up to now, I can't say all of it because I don't know, but the majority of what has been offered is people that will go to somebody who is licensed, and they, in essence, put together an agreement with the person who owns the license, and they ride on that license. And that's what the issue is. The actual provider to the end user is not licensed directly. And that's where they got into the issue from everything that I've learned. As you will learn very soon, this company has licensed the content directly. And have people said that before? They have, because you know what? They licensed it from a person who had licensed it. So were they being honest in what they said? Yeah, they just didn't tell you the full story. They licensed it from a provider who had it licensed from the original